is Jeff, the host of the Gridiron.
All right. Oh, looking a little low here. There we go. Welcome to the Gridiron, baby. If you give this video a thumbs up or maybe share this video, that would be absolutely freaking phenomenal. If you subscribe to my channel, thank you. If not, please go down below, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell icon. That way next time I go live or if I put a video out, you'll be notified. And it's free of charge. It's totally free of charge. What do you got to lose? But if you are subscribed to my channel, thank you. If you want to help support my channel out, description box below, very top link takes you to my membership page. I got 3 different membership levels. Each one has their own little perks to them. So once again, if you want to help support my channel out, it would mean so much to me. And I thank you in advance. Once again, thank you. And finally, just underneath that, there's another link takes you to my Facebook group. It's called the New York Giants, the Gridiron. It's my Facebook group. We have over 9,900 members in the group, so close to 10,000. And the group is doing simply marvelous, might I add. Basically, if I'm alive and breathing, if I got internet access, I am putting stuff in this group down there 365. It's called the New York Giants, the Gridiron. It's my Facebook group. Please join it. You will not be dissatisfied. I promise. Well, it's like the practice squad, the 53-man roster. It's so I don't know if we got like a little kind of thing kind of going on here with the Jets. Like the one article I'm going to read, maybe, possibly, maybe, kind of, who knows, it had something to do with, probably not, because it's a new regime there and everything like that. So, but they were talking about in this article, we did get Mr. Pinnock a couple of years ago from them, and he worked out, we're not talking to Hall of Fame or not like that, but he worked out okay for the Giants. He did okay, but unfortunately, one of the things about when you're doing it, they were talking about, I think some type of roster building gymnastics or something like that. And I think it says in this article also is that, you let guys out and you give them a wink, we're going to bring you back. Okay. Just clear the waiver, whatever, we'll bring you back. It doesn't always work out like that. So we're not exactly sure, if Korie was a little ticked off, or I don't know, maybe the Jets offered him a little signing bonus. Who knows? I don't know. But he was a 7th round pick. Right? I mean, once again, say it was a 7th round pick, but this is the first. I think that, and then once again, this article, I think it's 31 picks that Shane's had so far in his 4 years that we've lost. Basically, we were going to bring him back, but a little too late, right? So all the picks that Shane, whether good, bad, indifferent, whatever, right? We've had them all on the roster, kept them all on the roster. So this is the first one. So and we have some fine safety cornerbacks, but get down toward the bottom few where it's a little So if Korie Black did not break the lineup, as of right now, does this mean the guy can't play football in the NFL? Absolutely not. Does this mean that his career's over? Absolutely not. Does this mean that he can't work his way into becoming a decent NFL player? Of course not. Of course he can. Sure. But you don't have to wait and see. But as of right now, right? If they let him go, they know the chances, right? It doesn't always mean the guy's going to wind up coming back, right? So, but they drafted him. And they tried to, get him to clear waivers or whatever. I guess it's pretty much saying about all it needs to be said, right? Wish the guy nothing but the best. Hey, who knows? You never know, right? this roster, it's unbelievable, right? I mean, every day there's new guys on the 53, there's new guys on the. So I mean, Korie Black could be on the Jets practice squad today. He could be gone tomorrow, and then this Tuesday he could be back on the Giants practice squad. Who knows, right? Who knows, right? So it's like a soap opera. Tune in tomorrow as the Giants turn, right? So Korie Black spurns the Giants, joins the Jets practice squad. Ooh. Right. Rookie cornerback Korie Black, a 7th-round pick for the Giants, waived on Wednesday in the hopes he would return to the practice squad, has instead signed with the New York Jets practice squad. Giants waived Black to make room for waiver claims Beau, Brade, and Rico Suave Payton. Although Rico Suave Payton is on the injured as a hamstring. I don't know if they knew this beforehand or what, but no. But expected that they would be able to pass Black through waivers and get him to the practice squad. Right? I mean, you got a 7th-round rookie who hasn't done much of anything. He only played one preseason game, as I'm going to go over the PFF, because I believe he's spending some time injured. So it's like, I don't know, maybe the Jets were also looking at him too, maybe possibly draft him or maybe get him as an undrafted free agent if he didn't get drafted or something. So maybe they had their eye on him, and he became free. And it's like, Jets like, all right, we'll pick him up. Pick him up, right? So once a player goes unclaimed in waivers, he is a free agent. Thus, there is always risk of losing a player when a team makes a move like this. There's a bit of a payback from the Jets, although it is a different front office and coaching staff than Gang Green had in 2022. That year, right, the Jets tried to pass a young safety they were hoping to keep, Jason Pinnock, through waivers. So once again, it's a different regime, front office, and all that stuff. So is this like payback? Who knows? But the Giants, they're a little tick for attack. We're going to go over this in just a second. So the Giants kind of gave the Jets one of them. As I said, we'll go over this in just a second. But Pinnock played with the Giants. Started 37 games. He started all 32 he played over the last 2 seasons before signing with the 49ers in free agency during the offseason. Black is the first of 31 draft picks by general manager Joe Schoen over 4 seasons to be cut as a rookie. 2022 draft picks Marcus McKeithen and Darian Beavers spent their rookie seasons on IR, unfortunately. But they weren't cut. But if they were not injured, McKeithen was a 5th-round pick, and I'm sure, the way their offensive line, they drafted him, I'm sure they would have tried to find a way to keep him. But Beavers really seemed to, in the short preseason time he had, really seemed to play well, and I would have been rather shocked if they would try to cut him. Unfortunately, he got injured, and when he came back, he just wasn't the same. And, it's a shame. I mean, injuries happen, and, it is what it is. But, I mean, it's the first one out of 31 picks. So, I mean, it was a little shocking because it's like, usually when they draft a guy, he's on the team for at least a year. They draft him for a reason. I mean, it's not like the way it was, 50 years ago, 40 years. I mean, they drafted a ton of guys, and, you might only get, the Giants did some really crappy drafting, especially when I first started, like in the 70s. They drafted some nice guys, don't get me wrong. But, I mean, there was a lot of rounds, and out of all those rounds, I mean, they might only have to keep a handful of guys, 3 guys, maybe 4 guys on the team or something like that, out of like 12 to 15 picks. They're only keeping a handful. Now with Shane and all that, they're going through 7 rounds, and like almost guaranteed, almost everybody is making it on the team. I mean, those draft picks are golden. As I said, we can, obviously see, over the past X amount of years, 7th-round picks can be very valuable. Look at Ahmad Bradshaw, right? I mean, Fedoni, he's just a baby, right? He's just starting out, but he's looking like he could, at least have a future with the Giants. Not saying he's going to be a Hall of Famer, All Pro, or nothing like that, but for a 7th round pick, he looks pretty good. We didn't have a 7th rounder last year, but those draft picks are golden, right? And to actually wind up losing one of them is what it is. So we'll have to wait and see, as I said. But I mean, the 53, the practice, it's like every day. It's like, I mean, the Giants bringing this guy in, cutting this guy, cutting that guy, bringing this guy back. This guy's let go. It's like, what the, So I said, Korie Black could be off the Jets practice squad by this time next week or by this time tomorrow or whatever. And he might be back on a Giants practice squad. Who knows, right? There's plenty of guys that the Giants could, maybe not plenty, but there are guys I'm sure the Giants wouldn't mind getting rid of if they to bring back Korie Black. So we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see if this leaves maybe a little bad taste in Shane's mouth or something like that. You drafted Korie Black, right? We let him go. Maybe that pissed Korie off a little bit, and then he goes signs with the Jets. So maybe if he does become free again, once again, does this piss Shane off? And he's like, right there, Korie. Right there, pal. Good luck finding another team. We ain't bringing you back. So I have to wait and see. But it's one of those things, unfortunately. You let guys go, and it doesn't mean they're always going to come back. But, what the Jets did to the Giants return serve. So the Giants picked up linebacker Zaire Barnes. Now, note the insignia on the side of the helmet. What team is that? That's from the Jets. So they let him go. We scoffed him up. Now, I'm not exactly sure if they were kind of hoping that Mr. Barnes was going to clear waivers or not. But let me also go over real fast Korie Black. I mean, I'll just show briefly here. Let me get rid of this. Share screen, Korie Black here. All right. Now, got a ton of tabs open up here. There we go. All right. Now, he just played one preseason game. Right. Now, all of a sudden, he's on the Jets. It doesn't take PFF long to change that logo there. Yesterday, that was or 2 days ago, it was a Giants emblem. Now today, it's a Jets emblem. But he played one preseason game. Right. This is defense. He graded out 56.7. Right. But with Korie, chances are, I'd say, that against the Jets. So I mean, one thing too is he played against the Jets. Tommy DeVito got picked up by who? Patriots. He threw a trifecta against the Patriots. So they got to see him firsthand. They got to see Korie Black firsthand. He said maybe the Jets were scouting him, maybe want to get him as an undrafted free agent or maybe thinking about drafting him. Who knows, right? But they also saw him play. He only played 12 snaps. And I said, against the second or third string Jets. And he graded out 56.7. Now, and then he played, I think it was 2 special team snaps. I think it was in this game. Special teams. So, yeah. Kick coverage. And he graded out a 65. But he made one tackle, right? So, I mean, not bad. So, I mean, maybe, I guess, the same thing with the Giants, right? The Jets with Korie anyway. We're looking for maybe some, a backup, right, in the secondary, but also a special teams contributor. And so, but in that game, I said he too special. In that game, he played 14 snaps, which, I'm not exactly sure if it had injury related or what, but when you're a 7th round pick, they want to go out there and do some playing, see can you make it, and he only played 12 snaps, so that's not a whole heck of a lot. I mean, so obviously it might have been injury related. Didn't play in the first game, didn't play in the last game, and obviously the last game is when you want all your guys on the roster bubble to get a bunch of snaps, and he couldn't answer the bell. So, but as I said, the Giants got themselves Mr. Mr. Barnes. So the Jets lose Zaire Barnes to the Giants. The Giants landed the former Jets linebacker on Friday. So, and it's the same thing it says in this article. It says the Jets have been making moves left and right over the last few days. New York unveiled its. Oh, this is for the Jets though. The Jets unveiled their 53-man roster on Tuesday. One player who made the cut was linebacker Zaire Barnes. He played 4 games for the Jets in 2023 after being selected in the 6th round of the 2023 NFL Draft. Last year, he was placed on injured reserve. So, I mean, yeah, he does not have a lot of NFL experience either. Barnes initially made the Jets roster, but was one of the players waived after the Jets were awarded linebacker Cam Jones, tackle Essa Pohl, and tight end Jelani Woods off of waivers. He wasn't available for long, though, as the New York Giants reportedly claimed him, per the New York Post Sports' Ryan Dunleavy. Say the Jets and the Giants have claimed players from each other this week. So, I like this spice, Dunleavy said. The Giants just added a former Jets draft pick, so that the Giants got a Jets draft pick, just the way the Jets got a Giants draft pick. Right? So this comes after the Jets did seemingly the same thing with Korie Black. He made the Giants' 53-man roster, then was waived shortly afterwards. The Jets claimed him to the surprise of some, despite the Giants expecting to get him back. So now the Giants did the same thing and made the move official on Friday. So, we got here. Stunned Giants signed Zaire Barnes away from the Jets after Korie Black switched New York teams. Giants on Thursday lost a defensive back to the Jets. A day later, the Giants added a defensive player who was most recently with the Jets. Signing Friday of linebacker Zaire Barnes to the Giants practice squad comes after the Jets signed Korie Black, a 2025 7th-round Giants pick, to their practice squad. Black did not make the initial 53-man roster, but the Giants planned to bring him back to their practice squad. In the short time he was available, the Jets moved in on Black, who was injured most of the summer and played only 14 snaps in preseason, 12 on the defensive side and 2 on special teams. That was it. Giants were taken aback by Black trading blue for green, given that Black knew he was going to be able to sign back with the Giants. There's no difference in money for Black on either team's practice squad. So, I mean, you don't know what's going on. I mean, maybe, as I said, maybe just, getting cut pissed him off. I don't know. Who knows? Or maybe he has a better chance of maybe getting some playing time with the Jets. Who knows? The money's the same. So maybe he didn't like the coach, the locker room. Who knows? Could be a plethora of reasons. Don't know if we'll ever find out. But Barnes was a 2023 6th-round Jets pick out of Western Michigan. He played in 4 games as a rookie, but missed the entire 2024 season with an ankle injury. The Jets waived Barnes this past Wednesday, putting the finishing touches on their practice squad. The Giants also added another guy I'm going to talk about in just a second here. Let's see. Okay, so I'm going to go over. Let's look at Mr. Barnes is here. Okay, let's check out. Yeah, I mean, obviously there's nothing super duper spectacular. I mean, it's not like right? Nothing super spectacular. All right, so we got Mr. Barnes here. Right, so he managed to play in all 3 of the Jets' preseason games, although he did not play a ton of snaps. Right, let me get this here. These are special teams, right? Special teams contributed 40 snaps between the 3. Right, it's just 12 against Green Bay, the first preseason game. Then against the Giants, he had 12 snaps on special teams, and against the Eagles, the final preseason game, he had 16 snaps. Yeah, graded out of 48.1. Right, but he can play special teams. Is his 3rd season, right, in the league. Right, these are all his season grades, right, for the preseason. Okay, So let's see what he did here. Those are his special teams. Let's go to his defensive grades here in special teams. Okay, now let's make this bigger so even I can see it. All right, let's see. So, I mean, he didn't do actually too bad, but once again, who was he going up against, right? The first game in his preseason, he played against the Packers. Played 13 snaps, right? Rated out of 70.2. Pretty good. 13 snaps. But who was he going up against? Was he going up against second and third stringers, right? In the game against the Giants, he was in 15 snaps, graded out of 31.3. Did not have a banner game against the Giants. The game against the Eagles, it looks like he played almost every snap, 58 altogether. He played pretty well. But once again, the Eagles probably didn't have many, if any at all, other regulars in there. Maybe they had a few in the beginning, but then, the second, third, and fourth quarter, the Eagles have a lot of guys, right? As do all the teams that are trying to run the bubble. So, so he was probably going up against roster bubble guys, and he graded out of 67.5, which ain't bad. No, it's not bad. But what we see here, right? Right. So these are his preseason grades on defense. This year was a 59.2. Last year in 2024, that he must have injured his ankle, I guess, maybe in preseason, right? Because he had 87 snaps. He said, they said he didn't play last year with the Jets, I guess, remaining regular season because he had an ankle injury, right? So somewhere along the line, I'm guessing in preseason he injured his ankle, but he graded out pretty well. But once again, he was probably going up against second and third stringers. His first year with the Jets, he played 154 snaps in preseason. I mean, that's pretty darn good. That's a lot. That's like 51 snaps a game for three, unless they played 4 games that year. I don't know, but he only graded out of 50. But that was his rookie year, right? So if we look here, right, this is preseason. Okay, let's go to 2024, and we'll go regular season because he didn't play. Say he has no regular season snaps. Whether it's so obviously there's no regular season snaps in 2025 because we haven't played any games yet. 2024 he was injured, like they said. In 2023, not one snap on defense. Now let's see special teams here. Any special team snaps? Okay, 2023 regular season, he played some special teams. Well, okay, that was in 2023. That was his only year in special teams. He played 32 snaps on special teams, graded at 52.6. Right, 2.6. Kick return, 22 snaps. Kick coverage, 8, 1, none. Right, field goal team, graded out of 52.6. So basically, he played in 4 games on special teams during the 2023 regular season. Other than that, Mr. Barnes here has no regular season snaps on defense, right? So, I mean, once again, oh, what's up, buddy? I'm sipping the Kool-Aid. Oh, that's what I've been doing after Shane and Dable, they went 9-7-1. I'm like, all right, the 2023, we got to win at least 10 games. We went to the playoffs, got to get better, right? And nope, we went from 9 wins down to 6 wins, and I'm like, then last year we got, we lost Saquon, but we got Malik Neighbors, we got, right? We got Burns, So I'm like, man, we gotta get more than 6 wins. I'm thinking 8, maybe 9 wins. Nope, 3 wins. So every year I keep drinking the Kool-Aid. And my first year I was doing this was after the it was 2021. That was the first year I started doing this channel. It was right after the Judge, his first year, right? We were 6-10, but we finished the year 5-3. So we were 1-7. But the last 8 games, we were 5-3. I'm like, And we went to Seattle and with Colt McCoy. We won in Seattle against Russell Wilson and Pete Carroll. I'm like, yeah. All right, well, maybe we're on to something here. Maybe Judge is the man, right? So after we were 6-10, but I said, but we finished 5-3, right? I'm thinking in 2021, right? We got to be better, I finished 5-3, we should be. So I drank the Kool-Aid there. So, but I mean, if we don't win more than 3 games, I mean, I don't know what. I mean. But, very, very excited about this season. Very, very excited about this season. We were this close both games against Washington last year. The Cowboys are just, if we don't beat the Cowboys at least one time this year, we might just sell the team, just sell it and become a tennis club or something like whatever. If we can't beat the Cowboys one time this year, I said just sell the club and just, I don't know, move to India or something. But so very, very excited. Very excited. All right. But so, it's like, the guy makes the roster, he's off the roster, he's on the roster, he's off the roster, he's on the, it's like, what the, so we had Gunner, right? Then we let him go. Now we brought him back. So thankfully we were able to get him back, right? Now we do have, obviously we got Gunner and we got Amir Smith-Marset on the practice squad. So we do have returners, okay? But Gunner is going to have to be, he's obviously a wide receiver. So, but we did wind up getting him back. So it doesn't, as I said, with Korie Black, that doesn't always mean, you let somebody go. That doesn't always mean they're going to wind up coming back. Because Olszewski had himself a nice little preseason. He put some good film out there for people to look at and everything. And they know he can return. He's a good returner, right? So, but at least we got Mr. Olszewski back. Giants bring back return specialist wide receiver days after cutting him. But I guess it's, these guys are used to that stuff. You know what I mean? Wide receiver and former All-Pro punt returner Gunnar Olszewski, who was released earlier this week, is being re-signed to the Giants' 53-man roster. The team announced a series of moves on August 29th. Giants placed cornerback Rico Suave Payton on injury reserve. So we just go out and we pick up Rico Suave, and now he's injured. I don't know if he was injured before we picked him up or he pulled his. I think it's like a hamstring. So they put Rico Suave on injury reserve to clear a roster spot for Olszewski. Linebacker Zaire Barnes and offensive lineman, we're going to talk about McClendon Curtis, were signed to the practice squad. And the practice squad contract of linebacker Trace Ford was terminated. That's pretty odd because Trace Ford had himself a pretty nice preseason. I don't know. Olszewski is an elite punt returner. Giants fans are likely most familiar with Olszewski as a punt returner. He returned a 94-yard punt for a touchdown in 2023 against the Rams at MetLife Stadium. The run is 1 yard short of the franchise record set by Al Bloodgood in 1928. Let's see. Olszewski was named the All-Pro punt returner in 2020 while with the Patriots. He led the league in punt return yards. Now, obviously, in 2020, who was with the Patriots? Shane and Dale. So that's a familiarity there, right? Olszewski played cornerback in college. I didn't know that. Olszewski, whose first name is Caleb, was undrafted out of, oh my good, sweet dear Lord, Mama Jesus, Bemidji State University, a Division II school out of Minnesota, Bemidji, Bemidji State. I gotta get out of the house more often. I've never heard of that. Bemidji State University. Okay, that's a new one. You learn something new every day, they say. Well, this is it for me. He played quarterback while in college. He won Conference Defensive Player of the Year his senior year. So the guy's a heck of a good athlete. Not very big, but he's a heck of a good athlete. He can return punts. He played wide receiver. I mean, it was a Division II school, but he won the Conference Defensive Player of the Year. Wow. He went undrafted in the 2019 NFL Draft. He was invited to the rookie minicamps by the Vikings, who used him at cornerback, but moved to receiver with the Patriots, according to the Providence Journal. Olszewski remains with the Patriots through the 2021 season before he signed with the Steelers in March of 2022. He also mainly played receiver in Pittsburgh and has limited time at receiver. He was released on October 21st, 2023, and signed with the Giants 2 days later. I'm sure a lot because of that familiarity with Shane and Dable. Right? He returned punts for the Giants in 10 games during the 2023 season, but was injured all of 2024. He had the groin. What the heck was it? I know he was injured. He had the groin, and then I think he tried to come back or something. I don't know. He must have freaking annihilated his groin. I don't know. I mean, it just goes to show you how long I've been. Not that I've ever been a good athlete, but I'm more like an athletic supporter right now, right? But I mean, it just goes to show you how long it's been since I've actually done a lot of running around and stuff like that and all the time. I don't know what he did with his groin. I mean, usually your little groin, it's like, you have a little pull or something like that. I don't know. Whatever he did to his groin last year, it was a good one, right? Let's see. Gunnar Olszewski returns in a series of Giants roster moves. They placed Payton on injury reserve is a move the Giants knew that they would have to make when they claimed him. Aha, there you go. That answers that. I did not know. So Rico, Suave, Payton, who they put on injury reserve. Placing Payton on injury reserve is a move the Giants knew they were going to have to make when they claimed him on waivers from the Saints. That answers that. I didn't know. I thought, why would you want to pick up somebody? I mean, unless they really, really like the guy. I like you a lot. So they must have really had it in for the guy. Really must have liked him a lot, especially if they're going to claim waivers. And the thing is, you got your 53-man roster, but you can also put two guys, I think, on injured reserve for the first 4 weeks, I think it is. So actually, you can kind of have like a 55-man roster. You have your 53, but then you get like kind of, if you want to call it, protect two guys, but they're injured. So Rico, Suave, Payton is, I guess you have to miss, the first 4 games of the season. So we'll have to wait and see when he comes off injured reserve what the Giants wind up doing with him. We'll have to wait and see. But I saw that, and with Payton, it's like they put him on injury reserve. Like, why did they get this guy? But apparently they knew he had an injury problem. So that makes sense now. But Payton is a second-year cornerback, special teams player that Joe Shane said on Wednesday the team was hoping to acquire a year ago. So they've had their eye on him. So we're going to have to keep an eye. And hopefully the guy heals up, and hopefully he sticks around. Right? They want to develop him. They think he can help them on special teams and seems likely to bring him to the 53-man roster whenever he is healthy. So the Giants do got a couple of those cornerbacks at the bottom there. You got your Fab Four, I guess, or what? Maybe right with Flott, Banks, Phillips, and Adebo, right? But they got 3 guys at the bottom. That certainly could. One of those guys could certainly get the old heave ho. So if Payton comes back after 4 weeks or whatever, let's see if he sticks on the 53-man roster or not. Olszewski won the competition between him and Amir Smith-Marset. Now, let's not forget, right? I mean, obviously, Amir Smith-Marset, last season did, very well. Returned a kickoff for a touchdown. But during the preseason, Gunnar, did very well. Very well. He's good punt returner. But as far as receiving the preseason, he seemed to really do really well. and just listen to Big Blue Kickoff Live. I try to listen to those guys Monday through Friday because those are the guys that work for the Giants, and they're there. They see what's going on. Every practice, they're there. They travel. Most of those guys, some of those guys travel with the team to the games, like Paul Dottino and stuff. And Paul Dottino, he tracks everything. Everything. I mean, everything. The guy goes to the water cooler, he jots that down. So I mean, everything. But what he was also talking about is he was saying that Gunnar really had a good, he didn't start the preseason with the Giants, right? But when he got here, he was saying like during the practices and all, like he wasn't dropping anything. And we saw it during the preseason. He made some nice catches too. So maybe with Gunnar's catching and his return ability, maybe that's why he made the 53 and Amir Smith-Marset is on the practice squad. So I'll have to wait and see. Let's see. Olszewski played 10 games. We just said about that, right? Okay, so we're going to talk about some of these practice squad moves we got here, right? So the Giants signed Barnes, an offensive lineman. I'm going to go over this guy in just a second. McClendon Curtis, big dude, to their practice squad and terminated the contract of edge defender Trace Ford. Now, the interesting thing about with Trace Ford is that when the Giants put out their 53-man roster, because Trace Ford is as like an edge. Well, when the Giants put their 53-man roster, they only got 3 edge guys. I mean, Golston is for some reason Golston could play edge or he could play on the line too. But when they for their 53-man roster, they got Carter, they got Burns, and they got Kayvon. Those are the only 3 guys. It's like a bit weird. And Ford had himself a pretty good preseason too. So why they terminated his contract? Very interesting. Let's see. All right, let me go. Let me go now. All right, so Gunner's on the roster now. Will he make it to the week 1 against the Commanders? Who knows? As the roster turns, it's like a soap opera, but it's just not like this. It's every team. As I said, I did the last time I did my video, whatever, couple nights ago. Shane and Brandon Brown, all those guys. They're never. It's never like, whew, we got our 53, we got our practice squad, we're good. And things are always, especially when there are injuries, right? So, and they're always scanning the landscape to bring new guys in, right? But one of the guys they did, this guy's a big guy. He's big. We got Mr. McClendon Curtis to the practice squad. Okay. Now he spent some time with a couple teams here. Let me see if I can get is this it? Oop. All right. So Curtis, he's 6'6", 330 pounds. He was released by the Cardinals on Monday. He was undrafted, but this is the important thing here. This is like with the Gunner, right? Right. Gunner spent time with what? The Patriots. When he was with the Patriots, who was there? Shane and Dable, right? The familiarity, right? So Curtis is undrafted out of Chattanooga in 2023. But Curtis began his career with the Raiders, right? Where he played under current Giants offensive line coach, Carmen Brasillo. Ta-da! Familiarity. So Carmen knows Mr. Curtis. Mr. Curtis knows Carmen. Ta-da! Right? So, once again, I'm not saying it's going to turn out to be Alice in Wonderland. We're not going to hold hands. It's not going to, the way Van Roten and Mr. Illuminor came from the Raiders. Now they're in our starting lineup and they're really doing good. I'm not saying the same thing with this guy here, but, right, if Carmen, right, didn't think much of this guy or whatever like that, and maybe he probably wouldn't, I mean, Shane's, Carmen, this guy's available. What do you think? Right? Yeah, they're all talking to each other. Right? I mean, if Carmen said no, sure Shane wouldn't be picking him up. So Curtis also spent time with the Seahawks, playing in 5 games for Seattle over the past 2 years. All of his snaps were played on special teams, though. Okay. Let's see here. Any more on him or no? Let's see. Okay. Prior to the NFL, Curtis played 49 career games in Chattanooga. A lot of games, almost 50 games in college. With 38 starts, 30 at right guard, 7 at left tackle, and 1 at left guard. As a senior in 2022, Curtis started all 11 games, 7 at left tackle, and 4 at his customary right guard position. So I'll tell you what, now, once again, we're talking Chattanooga. Okay, maybe if you're a good talent at Chattanooga, you can get away with playing maybe guard and tackle. Now we're the land of the big boys, so I'm sure they're going to have to try to pick him at a position, right? But the guy in college played guard and tackle, right? Same thing with Evan Neal. Although, as we're seeing with Evan Neal, it's, at least with the Giants anyway, he's not performing super duper at guard and tackle, right? So I'm sure they have a position in mind here for Mr. Curtis, but he played in guard and tackle in college. So let's see. He picked up FCS first team All-American honors and won the Jacobs Blocking Award. All right. Given to the top offensive lineman in the Southern Conference. All right. Okay. So, all right. But let me share here. Where are we at here? Once again, I do apologize. I got 37,000 tabs open up there. I got to find it. Okay, here we go. All right. Let's go over. All right. There's that. All right. 6'6". They got me 325 pounds, but 6 foot, big guy. Big freaking guy. Okay. The Chattanooga Mocs. All right. He's drafted in 2023. So, I mean, he's what we got? 2 weeks. He'll be 26 years old. So he's just a baby, right? So who knows? Maybe this guy, maybe he can stick around. I mean, dude's humongous. Going to be interesting to see, if he does stay on the roster. Because, once again, or the practice squad, it's fluid. Guys come and go all the freaking time. But it'd be interesting to see where they try to put him at. Do they put him at guard or do they put him at tackle? Right? But if we look here, okay, the preseason is, all right, there we go. 2025 preseason. All right. So he played all 3 games. He only played a grand total of 39 snaps. So we're not talking, I'm not sure why he only played 6 snaps here, but 66.6. But once again, who was he going up against, right? The last game against, I can maybe see why he did well here. This is against his former team, the Raiders. He graded out 83.7. Graded out 66.6 overall over the 3 preseason games. But once again, was he going up against second and third stringers? Quite possibly. So you'll notice here against Denver, he did not fare very well. He got a 0 pass blocking grade. So what does it say? Oh, hold on. Where we had offense? Let's do pass blocking. There we go. Pass blocking. Okay, what do we got? He gave up a sack. 5 pass blocking snaps he gave up to Denver. He gave up 1 sack. So that's his efficiency was 80%. So that's quite possibly why he got the 0 grade against Denver. Right. All right, so let's go back here. Let's go to special teams. 7 special team snaps. Now, what do we got here? Now, this is preseason, right? 2023, 2024, and 2025. So you'll notice in the preseason he was on all three different teams. Now he's on the Giants. So once again, does this mean the guy can't play? Absolutely, of course not, right? But this is his fourth team, at least his fourth team in 3 years, 2023, 2024, 2025. He was with the Raiders. Then he was with Seattle. He was with Arizona. Now he's with the Giants. Guys, this freaking big, 6'6", 325/30 pounds, whatever. There ain't many of those human beings on the face of the earth. Okay. So for this, these guys are in demand. But for him to be on his fourth team in 3 years, once again, a lot of it also has to do with coaching. It also has a lot to do with what's in here, right? Does the guy want to develop himself and all that? A lot of it's on them, obviously, but a lot of it's coaching. I can bet you almost 10 ways to Tuesday if you put this guy on the Eagles, where Jeff Stoutland or whatever his name is, fantastic. That's why the Eagles have probably like the best offensive line football. That guy's a phenomenal coach, right? So I bet you if he went with the Eagles, I'm sure he can do some wonders with this guy, right? So it's got to do with coaching, okay? But this guy was quite possibly that unbelievably amazing or whatever, right? We wouldn't be his fourth team in 3 years, right? But let's see what happens. Let's see if he hangs around for a little while, right? Right. As I said, if Priscilla didn't see anything in him, he wouldn't be here, right? So, all right. So we got, let's see, it's 7 special team snaps. So, and I said, well, let's go 2025. So we'll go regular season here. Right. Snaps by position. Nothing. Whoops. All right. Let's see. So we'll go 2024. Where did he play in 2024? Snaps by position. All special teams, right? Field goal kick and extra point kick. Right. So he played special teams. What do we got? 19 snaps. Last season, 19 snaps. And 2023, regular season, he played in 1 game, field goal, extra point kick. He played 4 snaps, week 7. So, as once again, so we get the supposed to. So, he has no right. 2023, 2024 regular season, no offensive snaps. 2025, who knows? I mean, as we know, Giants injuries goes hand in hand, right? You go through the Webster's dictionary, you look up the word injury, there's a little NY right there. It doesn't say injury, it just says NY, Giants, right? So who knows, right? Maybe works his way up due to injury. Who knows? But, he hasn't played an offensive snap yet in 2 years. So we'll have to wait and see. And then finally, sorry, buddy. The dog Randy's underneath me here. Actually, this article here says 5 veteran players that could boost the Giants' depth. I can even go 7. I'll even go 7. Right? Of course, the one. Well, I mean, of course, they're all actually. Well, 3 of them are former Giants, right? So I don't really see. I mean, the Giants do not have a lot of cap space, right? If we're talking, of course, talk about OBJ, right? Obviously at his at his age with the injuries and all that, obviously he's not going to command a lot of money, but the Giants don't have a lot of money. I don't really know if the Giants want to bring somebody like that in. I don't know. I just don't know. I mean, I'll tell you what, it would certainly bring a lot of. You put OBJ back in on this team. I mean, well, I'll tell you what, you put some rear ends in the seats, at least initially anyway. Right? I don't know if you crack the starting lineup. It would be pretty cool though, wouldn't it? If we went 4 wide, then Malik Neighbors, OBJ, Wan'Dale Robinson, and Darius Slayton. Right? You got Darius Slayton going wide, Malik Neighbors, right? OBJ. Yeah. That would be exciting. Right? The other guy would be Jabril Peppers. I'm an idiot. I have a hard time saying it. Who just got let go, right? But once again, I think this would be his 11th season. I think it is because I think we drafted him in 2015. I think it was because the 15 and the 16 draft, those 2 drafts for the Giants, the second round pick was 345 trillion times better than the first. Because we got Peppers, I believe it was in 2015, the second round. He was better than Eric Flowers. 2016, we got Sterling Shepard in the second round, who was a lot better than Eli Apple, who we took in the first round. Right. So this would be Peppers' 11th season. I don't know what he has left in the gas tank. He wouldn't cost a lot of money. I love the dude's attitude. I think he would be, I don't know. I mean, it wouldn't cost a lot of money, right? He's a favorite of mine. I'd be a fan favorite too. We only had, we had the 3 safeties. Now we have 4. Obviously, of course, it's not something that the Giants haven't thought about, right? I do love them. The funniest thing I remember was. When was it? I can't remember what year it was. We went to New Orleans and we beat them. Maybe it was 2022. We beat them in the overtime game in New Orleans. Well, the game was tied, right? And they went out and I think it was the New Orleans game. We flipped the coin. They flipped the coin. Peppers was out there. And I guess Peppers, because we're the way, he called it and we won the coin toss. And Peppers didn't shake hands with the other after he just what the like this and he ran off the field. But I tell you, I love the guy's attitude. I mean, if they bring him back, it wouldn't cost a lot of money. Fan favorite, but once again, I mean, if the Patriots let him go, maybe that's all you need to know about. But there's this article here that has 5 other players. And if you look at the thumbnail, one of them's another former Giant who just got cut, but who would be huge on special teams, right? The guy you play many different positions on defense. Let me start with him there first. I guess Isaiah Simmons. I guess maybe they had to let go of him because they just brought in Mr. Parsons. But while many have been discussing the quarterback play, the offense's ability to put up points, and the potential pass rush, nobody has addressed the Giants' special teams. And let's not forget, Isaiah Simmons, a freakish athlete, right, who could, is good on special teams. Simmons may not have been utilized well on this defense when he was here, but he was definitely a key part of special teams, amassing 370 snaps in 2 seasons. It's a lot of snaps on defense. Special teams. His combination of linebacker size and defensive back athleticism makes him the perfect special teamer. Since things did not work out at linebacker with the Packers, Simmons needs a new home, and the Giants desperately need more quality special teams players. This would be one of the most common sense signings the Giants have made in a long time. I would have to agree. I mean, the guy, I think picked number 8 in the draft, right? That was always the problem then with Isaiah Simmons. It was always like, when we got drafted by the Cardinals, it's like, where are they going to put him at? Linebacker, safety? Where were they going to utilize him? And it's like he never really seemed to find a home on the defense. But he is an unbelievable athlete, and he can really help out the Giants, especially on special teams. And he wouldn't cost a lot of money. Now, Obviously, it always takes two to tango, right? The Giants let him go. Is there sour grapes there where he doesn't want to come back? Who knows? But, I mean, that wouldn't be a bad sign. Add another first-round pick to this team. Woo. There's four more guys that they talk about here. One is wide receiver Miles Boykin from Chicago. Now, this article came out like about a day or so ago, so I don't know if these guys actually signed with another team or not, but at the time of these articles, Miles Boykin is still available. Giants have a good trio of receivers led by a consistent veteran and a budding superstar. However, behind them, there is much to be desired. That's true. More disturbing is that the receivers lack extensive special teams experience. Well, I mean, because you look at it too, is that, the one thing is with Hyatt, he'll get some time on the field. Just hopefully not because somebody gets injured, but he'll get some time on the field. But do we get a lot of contribution out of these guys on special teams? Right? Well, maybe you can with Boykin. We have seen that a lack of quality special teamers can spoil a season. Boykins, who after being cut by the Bears was signed to their practice squad, represents that missing a quality special teamer in the receivers room. Ta-da! Right? 6'4", 230 pounds. This is a big dude. He can be whatever is needed on him on special teams. He is a sure open field tackler. You got a wide receiver, 6'4", 230 pounds, who's a good tackler. Wow. And he plays with the physicality needed to be a quality blocker. While he will not be utilized much as a receiver, his special teams value is so high that it is worth the sacrifice. Never underestimate special teams. Then they got Kendrick Bourne, wide receiver from New England. After failing to be moved via trade, the Patriots released Bourne, a 6'1" veteran who has spent 8 seasons in the NFL between two teams, the 49ers and the Patriots. 2021, his first season with the Patriots, he looked poised to break out. He finished that season with 55 receptions, 800 yards, and 5 touchdowns. Unfortunately for him, inconsistency in the coaching staff and at quarterback has really stunted his growth. Yeah, that'll get you. The new regime in New England likely looked at him as an out with the old move. I mean, right? The new coaching staff coming in, right? Look, it's like, that's not my guy. Bye-bye. That happens. But Bourne still has plenty left in the tank. He has a legitimate run after catch ability, which complements his intermediate and shallow route running well. He is also good at making contested catches because of his strong hands at the catch point. So, yeah, to be free, I mean, we have, 3 solid wide receivers. We got Jalen Hyatt. We're kind of hoping and praying that maybe something can come from him. Can we get it out of him? Right? But after we got our 3, after that, it's kind of like, I got my fingers crossed. Hey, I'm a Notre Damer. I got my fingers crossed for Beau Collins. Let's go, baby. Right? I always love those, those dark horses, right? Maybe a guy can be something special, but that remains to be seen. But it does, we do not have if something were to, I'm not wishing this on us, but if something would happen to Malik Neighbors, this wide receiver group is going to take a big step backwards. Right? That's why, like next season in the draft, if we can get another stud, whether it's in the first round or the second round, wide receiver to complement Malik, very nice. We need. Yeah, we had another guy. His initial start go along with Super Bowl SB. Maybe you know who I'm talking about. Who was a superstar, right? We kind of let him go because we didn't want to pay him, right? So we could have had that guy, and Malik Neighbors. That would have been 2 superstars, right? So we need another guy. If you can get 2 guys that'll keep defensive coordinators up at night, that's really good. Really, really good. 2. Twice as good as 1. So, all right. So then we got 2 more guys. 1, okay. I mean, the thing is, it's going to cost some money. Maybe not right now, but it's going to cost some money. But he's also injured too, right? But yeah, it would sure. I mean, you put him next to Sexy. Too low chop. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, Mr. Wilkins. Oh yeah, Christian Wilkins from the Raiders. Yes, Wilkins' departure from the Raiders was unusual, but it had nothing to do with anything on the field. On the field, Wilkins is one of the better defensive tackles in the league. Reuniting him with the best defensive tackle in the league feels like a recipe for run-stopping gold. And been one of the Achilles heels for the Giants for quite some, for at least the past few years anyway. Stopping the run. Now we did when the 1 year when we had Leo the Lion, Dalvin Tomlinson, remember him, and we had Sexy Dexy. Our defensive front, our run defense was pretty good, but since then it's kind of gone downhill, right? Put somebody, I mean, oh my God, yeah, woo. Put somebody next like Wilkins next to Sexy. All right, next year, Wilkins, a former first-round pick for the Dolphins, is a big and athletic player, very similar to Sexy. They enjoyed tremendous success in college at Clemson, and they should enjoy success again if they were reunited. The Giants have brought in defensive linemen, but none of them are of Wilkins' caliber. He will likely be motivated to show the Raiders they were silly to let him go after signing to a 4-year, $110 million deal in 2024. Now, I'm not exactly. I know he's injured. That's why, one of the big things why he's still out there and all that stuff and everything, And of course, I don't know, he's injured. I don't know, it could be a couple months, could be the rest of the year. I don't know. But, that's one of the reasons why I believe he's still available because he's injured. But boy, you can somehow find a way to sign him. Whew, man, my goodness. Oh, Put him and Sexy next to one another. The last one would be Shaquille Griffin, cornerback from Seattle. Giants have a lot of young talent in their defensive backfield, but they lack one of those grizzled, been through it all types of players. Griffin has veteran experience and savvy. He has started 82 games over his 8-year career. The 6', 200-pound Central Florida alum still has some juice to squeeze and would likely not be expensive to bring in. 6 foot tall, 200 pounds. That's a nice size cornerback. The back half of the Giants defense needs a little more veteran experience, a guy who has been in meaningful contests. Now, we just brought in, Holland and Debo, but those guys are, I think, like 4 years. This might be their 5th year. So the veteran experience here, without question. But, Mr. Griffin here has more. He's 8 years. Right? If you look at, all the guys the Giants have, I mean, there's not, I mean, we've got Newman, Belton, Holland. Right? None of those guys have any more than like 4 years, right? I mean, then you got, Flott. Right, Banks, Phillips, Debo. I mean, so Griffin isn't physical, so he can be an irritant like a Debo, but he still possesses the speed to run with elite receivers like Banks. He has experience playing in zone and man concepts throughout his career. So. Yeah, once again, it's always something to keep an eye on. Obviously, the one thing is that people write these articles, and then you get morons like me who read the articles and all that and everything. But Yeah, it's not, I mean, it's not something that Shane doesn't know about. One of the things is that we do not have a lot of salary cap. We only got a couple $1,000,000, 2-3 million or so. So I don't even know if it's going to be able to get us through the season, right? Now, although granted, some of those veteran players that are available wouldn't cost a lot of money, right? So we'd probably get them in on the cheap and all that, but we'll have to wind up waiting and see, right? As I said, because the 53-man roster is always, and the practice squad is always, it's always changing. So if one of those guys, if the price is right and Shane can bring one of those guys in on the cheap and he think they might be able to help the team, why not? I said, especially because I just went over 7 guys. Of course, 2 of them I added, but, OBJ, Peppers, and Isaiah Simmons, those 3 guys are former Giants. So, all right, guys, been 1 hour and 6 minutes. Vinny G, man, as always, brother, good talking to you, man. Thanks for hanging in there with me. I greatly appreciate it. So, whoever spent any time listening to me live, thank you. If anybody's going to spend any time watching the replays, once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. It means the world to me. As always, you guys stay safe out there and go Giants. Woo! Oh, yeah.